everyone, it's Cindy here with your creative identity transformation. Thank you for joining me today. Creativity isn't a luxury, it's what centers you when everything else around you changes. And I wonder if you've been asking yourself something lately. What does creativity actually look like? Not in a complicated way, not in some grand artistic sense, but in a real tangible and possible way. Maybe you're thinking, could I actually do this? Could I be creative again? And underneath that question, there's something else. A memory, a whisper, a quiet voice. I used to love creating. I used to do something with my hands. I used to make things. And then somewhere along the way you stopped. But the wondering never fully went away. Let me tell you what creativity looks like. It's not what you might think. It's not about perfection or about talent. It's not about having formal training or being the creative type. Creativity is simply this: making something from nothing, expressing what's inside of you, bringing an idea to life no matter how small. It could even be arranging flowers in a vase in a way that just makes you smile. It could be rearranging your entire living room so that it finally feels like home. It could be cooking a meal and making that beautiful. Creativity is anywhere you're expressing yourself, anywhere you're making something with intention. And here's what I've discovered over 34 years. Creativity doesn't require special talent or ability. It requires one thing: permission. Permission to try, permission to play, permission to see what emerges when you give yourself space. That's it. And I want to invite you to remember something, to go back in time, maybe to your childhood or your teens. Was there something you loved making? Something that made you lose track of time? Did you love drawing? Maybe you filled notebooks with sketches or doodles or little stories. Did you love painting, building things with your hands, creating with clay or fabric or wood? Maybe you invented imaginary worlds with your own original characters, or maybe you just liked copying other famous characters like Snoopy or Charlie Brown, or maybe you just drew little teddy bears or horses or dogs, cats. Just in that moment when you were making things for the joy of making them, there was no judgment then. None of this isn't good enough, I'm just not creative enough. You just made things and it felt good. Can you feel that memory? Can you imagine that feeling? At some point, it stopped. Maybe not suddenly, but gradually. Other things became more important. School became serious. Career became urgent. Responsibilities grew. You learned that practical mattered more than creative, that productivity matters more than play. And slowly that creative part of you went quiet. Not because you lost the ability, but because you gave it less and less space, until one day you forgot that she was there, your hidden creative self. And here's what I want you to know. That girl who loved to create, she's still in you. She didn't disappear. She just went quiet, patient, waiting. She's been waiting for the day when you have space again, when your life's finally slowed down, when you could finally ask yourself, what do I actually want? And you know what? That day might finally be now. Maybe you're noticing something different emerging lately. A curiosity, a longing, thoughts that come quietly, privately, softly. I used to draw. I used to love making things. I wonder if I could do that again. Where would I even start? And that's not random. That's not just nostalgia. That's her. The deepest part of yourself, calling out to be seen. That creative part of you, gently knocking on the door, asking, are you ready? Is it time now? So let me ask you something. What if you could? What if creativity isn't something you lost? What if it's something you just set aside? What if it's still in there, waiting for you to pick it back up again? What if this is actually the perfect moment? You have time now. You have space. You have freedom in a way you might never have had before. So just before we finish, I want to ask you something very real. What did you love to create when you were younger? Was it drawing, painting, writing, building? Was there something else? Can you remember how that felt? Share your comments below. Tell me what you can remember, because I think there are so many women listening who need to remember too, who need to know what they're feeling, and that this feeling is curiosity. It's a longing, and it's actually an awakening. So thank you for listening to Your Creative Identity Transformation. If this resonated with you, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Next week, we're going to go deeper. In the next podcast, we'll be exploring who you are beyond your profession, and I'm sure the answer will absolutely surprise you. See you in the next episode. Let's keep that creative spark alive.